everyone. Welcome to the XRP market analysis for the 21st of April 2026. Let's see what's been happening today, shall we? Oh, before we start, this video is based on an AI-generated report, so please use it as reference only. And remember, investing is always your own responsibility. All right, let's dive into the market summary. XRP is currently sitting at $1.4272, which is actually up 2.01% in the past 24 hours. Now that's a nice little bump. Here's the thing. We're seeing some really solid trading volume today, with 98, 970, 333 XRP being moved around. You know what I've noticed? There's been $51 million in total net inflows across XRP ETFs, which honestly shows some pretty serious institutional interest. And get this, the real-world asset tokenization sector just recorded 875% growth. Wall Street giants like MasterCard and BlackRock are really paying attention now. Now let's look at the technical side of things. The RSI is at 53.72, which means we're seeing some upward pressure from neutral territory. That's encouraging. The MACD is sitting pretty at 0.0129 in positive territory, with a histogram of 0.0127 that's actually expanding. This strengthens that short-term bullish momentum we're seeing. Here's what's interesting. XRP is trading above the Bollinger Band middle line at $1.3627, and it's trying to approach that upper band at $1.4511. We've got a golden cross happening too. The 5-day moving average at $1.4305, just crossed above the 20-day line. But here's the thing. There's still a significant 25.15% deviation from the 200-day line at $1.8777, so we haven't quite escaped that long-term downtrend yet. Well, the global situation is a bit tense right now. There's only 24 hours left until the US-Iran ceasefire deadline, and an Iranian cargo ship is actually challenging the US blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. This could threaten global energy stability, which is a bit concerning. But you know what's surprising? Despite these tensions, Bitcoin just climbed above $78,000, showing that risk asset sentiment is actually improving. XRP has a positive 0.3604 correlation with NASDAQ and a negative minus 0.1663 correlation with the dollar index at $98.30. So if the dollar weakens, XRP could see some upside potential. On the regulatory front, here's some exciting news. Ripple just announced a 4-phase roadmap to make XRP Ledger fully quantum resistant by 2028. They're using some pretty smart structural advantages, like native key rotation for enhanced security. And wait, this is really interesting. Wall Street giants MasterCard, BlackRock, and Franklin Templeton have started actively using XRP Ledger for DeFi strategies. That's some serious institutional adoption happening right there. No major regulatory changes or lawsuit developments today, though. Now this is where things get really interesting. The Fear and Greed Index is at 29, which indicates extreme fear. But here's what I've learned. Extreme fear can actually present some great buying opportunities. XRP search trends are at 23, and macroeconomic trends are at 18, both pretty low, showing that public interest is quite subdued right now. The FOMO spread is at 1.0, showing equilibrium, while the XRP to Bitcoin interest ratio is 0.9273. So there's relatively low interest compared to Bitcoin. This participant apathy? Well, it might be creating some bottom buying opportunities. Let's talk about what the whales are doing. The network recorded 10,982 transactions with a massive total volume of 709, 615, 996, 177 XRP. Now here's the really interesting part. Whale transactions numbered 235, involving 709, 615, 618, 029 XRP. That's nearly 100% of the total volume. While this concentrated whale activity could increase price volatility, it actually reflects continued institutional interest, which is a positive signal. Combined with those XRP ETF net inflows we mentioned earlier, This suggests institutional capital is really flowing in. From an Elliott wave perspective, XRP appears to be in the C-wave corrective phase right now, which suggests the downward correction might be nearing completion. The Wyckoff analysis shows we're in distribution phase A with 46% confidence. This suggests large investors might be in a distribution process, but that moderate confidence level keeps trend reversal possibilities open. So, if the C-wave correction completes, we could see a new upward cycle beginning, with current price levels potentially serving as a reversal point. Now here's where it gets really exciting. The AI ensemble predictions are forecasting upward movement across all time frames. Short term, we're looking at $1.5820 in one day. That's 10.9% upside, with 53.7% probability. Medium term at 7 days, the prediction is $1.5054, indicating 5.5% upside with 50.5% probability. But wait, here's the big one. Long term at 30 days, we're looking at $1.8238. That's a 27.8% surge, with a very high 77.8% probability. Now that's what I call promising. The high consensus among prediction models for long-term gains is really encouraging. Of course, we need to talk about the risks. The US-Iran situation and Strait of Hormuz tensions could destabilize energy markets, which might negatively impact the whole crypto market. Technically, that 25.15% deviation from the 200-day moving average means we need some strong momentum to break the long-term downtrend. The extreme fear in the market and that Wyckoff distribution phase could create additional pressure. Plus, with whale transactions making up nearly 100% of volume, we could see sharp moves if big investors decide to sell. All right, here's my overall take. This is a conditional buy situation. XRP shows short-term volatility, but substantial medium to long-term upside potential. Here's why I'm feeling optimistic. We've got $51 million in ETF inflows and adoption by Wall Street giants, showing real institutional demand. The technical signals look good, with MACD positive crossover and that golden cross formation. Plus, the 875% RWA ecosystem growth is providing new growth drivers. So here's what I'm thinking for trading strategy. Consider entry between $1.35 to $1.40. Set your stop loss at $1.25. First target would be $1.58 based on that short-term AI prediction, and second target at $1.82 for the long-term prediction. I'd recommend a three-phase dollar-cost averaging approach, especially considering those geopolitical risks we mentioned. And that's it for today's analysis. If this was helpful, please subscribe and hit that like button. See you next time.